911, what's the address of your emergency?
Our building, it slid on the hill, and I think it hit our house, and our cars and building, and the trip leads all down the road.
Okay. All right. And where are you at right now?
We're on the mountain because our road is flooding.
Okay. Yeah, we've got help coming that way just as quick as they can.
Haywood County 911, what is the location of your emergency?
My house is surrounded with rushing water. It's not in the house, but we're surrounded. Or I would try to get out of here, although I don't know where I'd go. Totally rushing water, completely surrounded.
Okay. How many people's in the residence? Can you hear me?
I have a stranded vehicle in a flooded road with one occupant inside.
Okay.
Right in front of my house. The water is about up to their doors already.
Yeah, he's stuck in the river, stuck in his truck. I can't get to him.
Okay. All right.
And the river's rising pretty deep. He must have run off in the...
Okay.
But the river's rising above his truck now.
How old are you?
I'm 12.
Okay. We've got coming to you just as quick as they can, okay? Is everyone accounted for?
I don't see my stepdad or my mom.
Are you going to send someone?
Yeah, your phone cut out, but we've taken a few calls on it. If it starts coming into the house, just try to get the higher ground inside the residence, but I'll get you some help headed that way, okay?
We built it up, and it's breaking down, coming undone. I can't live without all that I love, but it'll take me out. There's no way to run, no safety route. What if I laid here and let the water take me? I'll go with all that made me, but I won't drown. I'll stand till the road's clear, won't let broken ground shake me. I am my own foundation and I stand proud. I'm strong enough to take this, but I need a helping hand. When I cry, I don't need a chair, but my God, I need a friend. I might be my own foundation, but I'm standing on this land. When I hurt, don't need an angel. Oh my God, I need a friend. But what if I laid here and let the water take me? I'll go with all that made me, but I won't drown. I'll stay until the road's clear, won't let broken ground shake me. I am my own foundation and I stand proud. I'm not going with the flood. I'm not going with the
We lived between two bridges, and we woke up Thursday morning, the stalled front already had those bridges underwater, so we couldn't get out. So we were stuck at home just waiting for the hurricane itself to finally get there.
The first few days were scary. We had very little communication to understand and know what was really fully happening around us.
We had no telephone, we had no power, We had no connectivity to the outside world for about 4 days. And all the roads were washed out. There was no traffic, so.
What was normally a small trout stream, 20, 30 feet across, not too deep, became, like something you'd see in a movie, or on a whitewater rafting trip, couple 100 feet wide, way higher than we had ever seen it before, but you didn't really realize what it had done until the water went down.
I've lived in Avery County, all my life, and the places that damage occurred that I never would have dreamed. I'd seen floods and we've seen damage before, but a river, Tow River, that's normally 15, 20 feet wide was 200 foot wide in some places.
We had to walk out to the highway the first 2 days. Our road was impassable. So we had to walk out, and actually I had to hitchhike to my father's house to borrow a car.
Once I was finally able to get down to the emergency operations center, and then I really found out how bad things really were.
It took us all out of our regular circumstances and the work and everything. Work stopped, everything stopped.
We would be sitting underwater right now. And that aspect of it, or the first days of just like, coming down here, because at that point, when I came down here, our other location was completely flooded out. It was like 16 foot or something like that.
I told someone recently that it's kind of like what I've always been taught, that everybody's got a plan until you get hit in the nose. And we got hit in the nose. And the plans, and we had just this year had revamped our emergency response plans, and they were good until it overwhelmed them.
I saw citizens with chainsaws opening up roads and putting that together so that actually the power crews could get through.
It was like a horror movie, and then coming out and you're in the dark. And you imagine no communication, no power, none of that. And you don't know how your neighbor is. I had to get to the EOC. My job as a commissioner was to get to the EOC.
The scale and the scope of what happened really is beyond anything that we could have prepared for, even though we thought we were adequately prepared. Folks were scared at the beginning. They were unsure. They didn't know what was happening.
At that point, you have no idea. There's no roadmap. And there's no communication, which is like hard to understand right now. Like you're trying to text the managing partners, and you're just like, no, you can't. So you're just sort of like, all right, we should do something.
There's a lot that I don't remember about the day. I remember it was very traumatizing in seeing something unfold that you were certain wasn't going to happen, and kind of like dealing with the reality of the situation was something that is kind of hard to explain. Coming back to it that evening, once we were able to get back into Lansing and seeing the devastation, seeing my store completely gone is, it's a very surreal experience that it's just really hard to put into words.
For someone who can be full of words at times, choked up, couldn't talk, trying not to cry now, cried then. It was stunning as you came on into the village. And as we came up towards Main Street and seeing all that was totally destroyed, 3-5 feet of silt, huge trees that had been washed down, that the bark had even been ripped off of them as they collided with things coming down, and realizing that we had buildings, not one, but multiple buildings that were just gone, and the landmass that was the western part of our downtown was missing, and the river was there. It was shocking and stunning, and I can't even describe the impact emotionally that it had.
3 days after Helene came and left behind her path of destruction, I was touring parts of the county with our emergency manager and still watching search and rescue, looking for people.
Everybody was giving so much,
the influx of people coming in to help and donate stuff was incredible, but it was really quite overwhelming for small roads and our small communities.
Then you would go out into the real world. You left the EOC, you actually went out to where the Sun Trainer was, and you saw all the emergency vehicles and stuff out there leaving, going somewhere in our community. But when you went to, like when you went to Lake Lure, you saw the National Guard, you saw our emergency management team, you saw our sheriff personnel.
While hard to watch happening in real time, it also gave me a sense of hope that we had people coming from all across the country to help Buncombe County and to help us begin the process of cleaning up and then the even longer haul of rebuilding.
I want to thank all those organizations, all the other counties that responded immediately to this disaster that we had. We even had a fire truck. I was visiting our fire department soon afterward, and there was a fire truck and a crew from Pitt County. Of course, Pitt County is all the way down in Greenville, North Carolina, and to come up to our area, probably at least a 6-7 hour drive for those gentlemen. And we really appreciate that.
The amount of volunteers that have come out of the woodworks to help Mitchell County specifically is, I can never say thank you enough. And our citizens can never say thank you enough.
It was very important to go and see our commissioners. We visited Ashe County with Chairman Todd Neal, and then we were able to go to Avery County and see Mr. Aldridge, Dennis Aldridge, and to see firsthand the destruction and listen to their concerns. I can only imagine of the level of expectation from their citizens to look to their local government and say, hey, look, this is what we experienced. This is the destruction that we have here. How do we piece this all back together?
We have currently about 1,600 personnel in Western North Carolina doing nothing but search and rescue. Have ramped that up since Thursday 2 weeks ago. We have 3,500 active duty soldiers and airmen, and that's a combination of the National Guard and Title X active duty components. We have hundreds of firefighters, hundreds of law enforcement officers, hundreds of EMS workers and associated equipment all across North Carolina, Western North Carolina, to support the impacted area as much as needed. We're not going anywhere until you feel comfortable and stable with what you need. The direct cost, direct estimated infrastructure damage to Western North Carolina right now from our team and from the experts that do this is between 6 and 10 billion. So just from a scale standpoint, from a infrastructure damage, that is something that we've never seen before.
The hardest part is not having all the answers to so many questions that I've never been asked before. It's been really hard.
Just tell me about what the last month has been like. If you want to start out and talk about it a little bit first.
You know, and I've said this multiple times, it's been one of the most challenging things, maybe the most challenging thing that I've ever been through. But at the same time, it's been very heartwarming and just so proud of my community and the way that everybody's rallied around each other and lifted each other up and loved each other in an incredible time of need. So
I'd say probably the biggest thing that I've taken away from the last month is just having a space for people to come and share what they're experiencing right now. And especially at the beginning, people just needed to come in and have a space to talk to each other, to talk to us. and just get things off their chest, share the experience, share photos. So we've seen a lot just of people's firsthand experience as they're able to make it into town and just process everything.
This is the main distribution center, right? This is our gym. And we have supplies that come in on the other side. I'll take you over there. And then as things, go down in inventory, then we come back and replenish. So we got food, we got baby stuff, we've got medical supplies, we've got dehumidifiers, we've got shop vacs, we've got heaters, we've got pretty much everything. You can see people basically just come in and shop and get what they need. Within a couple of weeks, we were able to, pull it together and start doing outreach for the community. So again, at the same time, trying to get the trash hauled away, but being able to supply people with clothing, with food, with just necessities. Some of these people lost everything. I mean, if you drive down the road, you can see at least 3 houses that were just totally obliterated. So anyway, so we've been doing our job.
I think we were here for the biggest part of 2 weeks, doing moving everything that was in this building out and into the appropriate dumpsters. So
Glenn, obviously, and his team, but even some of the contractors that came out, some of the well companies.
Local electricians.
Local electricians, Richard Woods, Yadkin Well, they just jumped on it. And we weren't talking about how we're going to pay you. They were, we're going to compensate them as best we can, but they just came in and fixed it, right? And so we'll deal with it. But it was amazing to see them jump into action.
The story of generosity is the story I want to tell, because I have seen so many people just sacrificially give to our community. It was probably a week into it, and we had power back on. Most of this county had power a week into it, but there were folks driving from other parts of North Carolina that were affected by the hurricane that still didn't have power. But they were bringing us stuff because they felt we needed it worse than they did. So folks hadn't had a shower in a week, and I had had a shower. And they were bringing stuff to me. So many, many stories like that. If you had been here a few weeks ago, you would have seen up to 100 active military behind me camped out in tents. You'd seen 100 National Guard, engineers, others sleeping in this direction in military-style tents. 5 heavy pieces of equipment running at least 12-hour days nonstop. We were running out of fuel on our equipment, forklifts, skid steers, tractors. 2,000 to 3,000 pallets of food and clothing and supplies were moved, unloaded, and reloaded in just a matter of weeks.
Thank you for this great idea of pulling together local officials to talk about the challenges that we face. None of us expected here the deadliest and most devastating storm in the history of our state to occur, but it has.
We want to thank you for the opportunity to be here to present a quick update as to where we are in the incident, but more importantly, be able to listen to what your concerns are, your needs are, as we continue to transition from response into recovery for this event overall. It's important to note that the State Emergency Response Team is still fully active in response and recovery mode as we continue to support all of our Western North Carolina counties as we work through the devastation of this event.
We have gone from the response phase to a recovery phase. And the response was great, and a lot of wonderful things were done in a very short amount of time. But as we move into recovery, housing is one of the critical elements We're still trying to get a count on the number of homes that were destroyed, and it's in the multiple hundreds in our county.
Just tremendous amounts of damage, particularly all along the Catawba River corridor that comes through Morganton and through Burke County. Of course, Lake James is the headwaters for our water systems, and it also has lots of camping areas, campgrounds around the lake. Those areas were totally underwater, and so all of that debris has become quite an issue for us, and all the damaged debris that's been pulled out of people's homes and buildings, and all the trees that just simply fell throughout the storm.
Every day we're doing better. We're getting power back onto our citizens. I would say about 6 weeks ago we were at 100% outage for power, communications, and everything. And so as of this morning when we checked, we have about 69 citizens that are still without power. So that's a lot better than where we were. But it's been very scary and a very big learning experience, to say the least, being from the citizen standpoint and from the government standpoint.
I think one of the most immediate needs that we have that's kind of on the table, logistically speaking, is a solution to bring water directly to our small businesses. So there's a lot of businesses that weren't impacted by flooding or wind damage that are closed because we have no potable water. Think restaurants, breweries, all kinds of things like that. That we're losing, that are closing, kind of every few days here.
But what we need funding, especially for our citizens who were turned down by insurance, who were told that we don't cover flood damage by insurance, but they didn't live in a floodplain. They didn't need flood insurance before. They need to rebuild their lives. They need to rebuild their homes. Some of them need to rebuild their businesses.
Close my tailgate back. You can see right over here was the temporary drive-through. You can see where people were coming down and driving through the river right down there. We're fortunate in that we lived in an area where there's a lot of construction, a lot of new homes, a lot of land clearing. So a lot of people have a lot of big machines, and they were out on day one. Philip, our county manager, said the other day he was coming up one of the sections we call 3 Mile, and he said, I'm just going to count the number of trees that were across the road by the stumps and stuff that's still there. And he said, I lost count. And all those were cleared primarily by local people, just getting out with chainsaws and equipment and getting them out of the road. Well, you're struck first by the scale of the damage. And then you think the people who lived here, whose lives were impacted and continue to be impacted. But you realize that this changes the topography probably forever. I mean, probably the rivers will never look like they looked before. Yeah. And even though the structures will be built back, there's still, for a lot of people, this will be their seminal moment in time. Everything will relate to before Helene and after Helene.
In a location like Lansing, any business opening up is a huge success. So whether it was mine or it was another business, it all would have had the same, impact, outsized impact. So I know it means a lot to the town to see some liveliness happening, especially in a place like this where people gather and people connect and spend time together.
I know it means a lot to the community.
Waterway debris removal is one of the real obstacles that we're facing right now. We've not been able to begin that process at all because of lack of clarity on guidance from FEMA and the NCEM about what would be covered and what would not be and how it was going to be paid. With the debris remaining in the rivers, every small rain that we have causes flooding. We even had some of the temporary bridges wash away that had been built because the debris still creates dams, water backs up behind it, and we're just now getting some contracts with our debris removal people to begin that process. And that's only what's in the water. The guidance that we currently have, which is contracted from where we started right after the storm, we were told it would pretty much be anything that was out there. Now, the debris removal in the rivers is only what is wet. In other words, what's touching the water as it is now, not the way it was at the height of the flood. There's a secondary segment of that called PPDR, personal property debris removal, which will take those adjacent areas, and we'll have to go and get individual landowner permission and a packet that allows the contractors to work on those properties, and each of those packets will have to be sent in and approved individually through FEMA. This is one of our consolidation sites, debris consolidation sites. This is where all of the roadside, this is the debris that has been brought in from all the collection points. People placed it along the right-of-way, and we've had teams that go along and pick it up. They'll bring it. We have this site and another one down in Cranberry, and we pick up vegetative debris and C&D, construction and demolition. So in what they're doing, they grind all of the vegetation to compress it, and this is we're taking to down into Tennessee. There's a guy that's taking this mulch debris, mixing it with dirt and creating topsoil.
We're better than we were 4 months ago. You know, we do have, most of our citizens are getting internet back, they all have electricity back, but there's still a really big concern about the issues that we have right now, whether that be economical or infrastructure. But in the forefront of my mind, I'm also thinking these issues come the spring with all of this vegetation debris down. I don't want to see wildfires in Western North Carolina like is going on in California. So most people are living in, they either have like the hotel vouchers through FEMA, or they're living in their campers, or they have other places that they've moved to, or they're staying with friends and family. It's more of like the private roads and bridges and not being able to get to their houses. And so that's also kind of goes back to debris, because if you can't get to their house and then there's a fire, so they're all just kind of intertwined. So I couldn't necessarily say there's just one specific one, but there's about 3 or 4 that kind of go hand in hand. We've made a long way, we've made a lot of progress, but there's still a lot more to do.
All right, love you. So I own Madco Pizza and Brewing. We pizza kitchen, tap room, staining baseboards for the inside. Just got the floor down, sheetrock up. So doing a little trim work. A lot of progress in 4 months, and still a lot left to go, but everybody's moving in the right direction. It's been challenging. I feel like everybody's experience is a little bit different. You know, we got it's just stuff here. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but we didn't lose anything that couldn't be replaced. So I don't know if you can see, but the water line up there on the windows, that's how much we had inside. And floors down, FRP's up. Doing some replacing the trim down here.
When we were together in November last, I think we felt like that meeting was a lot more about crowdsourcing information from you, asking you what was going on 6 weeks after the disaster. And it helped your league and the COGS and the association arm ourselves with important information to take down to the legislative building and to Congress that hopefully is helping you work through things now, and we continue to do that. Today, a bit different as we have come together in introducing you to the key players now.
We lost 105 North Carolinians to the storm, but in addition to that, we've seen 74,000 homes damaged, 5,000 miles of state-maintained roads impacted, and so on. You all know, because you all see the tremendous damage and destruction wrought by the storm. And our Office of State Budget Management has estimated that the total damages have added up to about $60 billion in damage. And so we know that we can't make everyone whole, but our job is to do the best that we can to help folks rebuild their homes, rebuild infrastructure, rebuild the economy, and do everything that we can to put Western North Carolina back on its feet and help it in the future as much as we possibly can.
The weather is now changing into our favor. Really, a whole lot of the hard work is just now starting to get done. This is Big Creek. It actually drains out of the Cataloochee Valley up here, part of the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. And over to my left, your right, is Duke Power's hydro generating station, which is our Waterville hydro plant. But we're nowhere close to where we want to be. You know, it's just, it's going to be a long grind. And I think we've kind of dug in for the long haul. But, you know, we are seeing the plan develop, and we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to take years to fully get over this, and some places will never ever be the same. I mean, you saw yourself how some of the river channels changed. It's just never going to be the same from what we were used to seeing. It's gone. Like right down here, you see the sign behind me. It says Whitewater Rafting Access. There was some huge, big, beautiful gray granite boulders in the riverbed. Now the riverbed is right down there is 3 or 4 times wider than it was before Helene, and those big, beautiful boulders are gone. I mean, they washed into Tennessee. So everything's changed along those rivers. So. Positive story on that was we had some early warning water detection devices installed. State EM gave us some money. We got some grants, and our emergency services folks had some of these water gauge monitors in place that give us early warning. And I really believe because of that, our loss of life was drastically lower than what it could have been. You know, you try to find a silver lining in every dark cloud, and that was about as dark a cloud as this county has seen, you know, in generations. And Helene, but my heart goes out to the folks that lost their life. You know, we had some tragic cases, but very fortunate that we had those early warning systems in place, and I think that was a very big positive.
We worked with emergency management and built out a survey that we could do damage assessments basically on an iPad and go through the community with building inspectors in teams. With this kind of map system that we would meet about each morning and talk, we were able to go through and do our damage assessments really in just the first few weeks and get through that process, which was, I think it gave us a real advantage because during Tropical Storm Fred, we weren't as prepared for this, and that process took months to do. It's a lot of hard decisions that take months for a homeowner to go through because the process is long with insurance and then with other funding that comes in, but at least we get them off to a quick start.
It's not as if Helene hit us in just one way, or even just impacted one community. It had such a devastating impact just across the county, especially in the eastern part of the county, and all the way from where you saw just like the serious devastation around knocking out the roads and the bridges, so just impacting how people could be able to get out in the community, to the flooding, whether that was on the Big Ivy or the Swannanoa rivers, to the amount of the forest that is down. When you look at up in the Reems Creek Valley or in the Riceville, and you see still after all these months, just there was so much devastation in the forest, and every time I come around a corner and I see that, it still just kind of takes my breath away to see that and know that all that, as I've learned, the term fuel load is down, which is very concerning to us because after the devastation Helene, we certainly do not need forest fires on top of that. And then, of course, we just came from over in the Garin Creek area, and you saw just, I mean, landslides like I've never seen in my life. Multiple landslides, but also landslides that, over a mile long. And we saw where those landslides kind of came together and met, and then the devastation that they caused.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't big. You could step across it, basically. And, but, I mean, you can look at it now to what it's done, because there were houses right here, and it took all these houses out, so.
So we're here at the Big Ivy Community Center, which has been an integral part of this community for at least the last 50 years. It flooded the entire building, so we can no longer access the building. And we've been working with volunteers to do our best to get everything cleaned up. The swimming pool behind me was just redone by the county last year, and the whole entire thing was completely filled with water, tainted water, and it had probably about 4 feet of mud in the entire thing and debris and stuff like that. And so hopefully it does look like it will be salvageable.
Still today, when I drive up the road,
and I see my neighbors, some of them in their 70s, almost 80, and they're surviving in recreational vehicle campers. And I see my neighbors in the shed homes. It's pretty overwhelming. So our fellowship hall served as relief supplies. We had it fully stocked with relief supplies. Between food trucks and dinners in the fellowship hall, there's been over 6,000 meals, hot meals served on our church property.
And so I started moving those Adirondack chairs up on here, right? So I was like, I need to save these chairs, which in hindsight, sort of silly, but it's actually kind of comforting that they're here. But yeah, it looks very similar to what it looked like. The before and after is pretty similar, certainly.
We sort of banded together as a team and just working towards trying to build that stability for each other and just really appreciating what the wedge means to us, what it means to so many people. So yeah, we really pushed to get back open, as much for ourselves as just, the wedge has a lot of meaning to a lot of people, and wanted to make sure that that was still there, and the locals have definitely come back in force.
Yeah, so this was Charles D. Owen Park, directly behind us. It was 2 fishing ponds, a figure-8 walking trail, and a couple ball fields. Swannanoa River actually rerouted through the fishing ponds themselves through the park. There's a lot of different things we have to go through. Ashbrit, who is Army Corps' contractor, has already done a first pass. They did a lot of debris removal, that C&D debris, tree debris. They got it looking really good to where, it's kind of open for what we can do now. So we have to meet with FEMA next week, actually, see what their guidance is. We have to work through all the different funding fields, everything like that. And then also, we want to do a master plan with the community.
I am Peter O'Leary. I'm the mayor of Chimney Rock Village. I've been the mayor a total of about 25 years, and I also have a business here. I've raised my family here. We've had our business for it'll be 35 years this Memorial Day. Initial reports I heard were that Chimney Rock was washed away, which is not totally true, but we lost 30% of our business community. We lost somewhere in the neighborhood of 20% of our housing. We lost 5 bridges. Every bridge in town was washed away. We lost our economy. Our economy is shut down. Everybody's out of business. So from that viewpoint, it was definitely devastating. People need to understand that we were hit really bad, and we're just not part of some 24-hour news cycle. We're going to be recovering from this for years and years. And you're going to be 2 miles, 3 miles, 10 miles away from here and not realize anything happened. And we're going to be struggling to survive, just a few miles away from areas that are back to normal.
Every day there's something new that we have to either figure out how we're going to pay for it, see if it qualifies with FEMA, see who we can contract or how we have to contract with them, whether it's a bid, and then does it have to be engineered? Right now we were able to secure access to $3 million through water, sewer, and the Clean Water Act. So we have rebuilt, and we're almost finished. should finish within the next 60 days, our entire water sewer system downtown, so we can effectively reopen our downtown. Some of our critical needs are, an example is I walked out with representatives of one of the congressional committees, the House Oversight Committee, and they said, "What do you need? Tell us." I said, "Do you look around and you see that there's clear destruction? There's no debate." They agreed. I said, "Well, in addition to that, it's going to cost money to do that." They agreed. I said, "I need money now because we're having to use all of our savings, all of our capital reserve money so that we can get things started. We don't have time to wait." But it didn't really start happening until December when FEMA finally had people that are assigned to us, helping us. But we still didn't get our first check until the first week of March before we got our reimbursement. Fortunately, we got vendors that are working with us because they've not made us pay up. So when we got that first allocation, then we could start catching up. And we're still waiting on our second, third, fourth, and fifth allocations to do what needs to be done.
Seeing Lake Lure becoming more resilient, I guess, after the storm is we're in the recovery phase. We're working on bringing the lake back. Hopefully, not a lot of people know this, but a lot and the majority of Chimney Rock State Park is inside the incorporated limits of the town. We'd like to bring the state park back as quickly as we can to bring tourism back to our town. We're in the process of improving communications so that hopefully if this were to happen again, we'd have better communications. We've installed recently a safety valve in the dam so that way we can lower the reservoir for the lake and hopefully be able to better manage the next storm.
We have $198 million in identified needs that are storm related in Madison County. So far we've gotten a $1.6 million bridge loan. We've gotten assurances that other money is coming, but it hasn't hit our bank account yet. Biggest needs right now is wastewater treatments plants. Marshall's was severely damaged. Hot Springs was decimated. Both of those are probably in the estimated range of around $8 million for each town. And remember, Hot Springs has a $750,000 a year budget. Marshall's is about $850,000 a year. So obviously it's going to take some federal and state assistance to help get them over the hump.
Well, we're into a phase now of the recovery. It's years. I think first is our businesses with our economics and getting our economy stood back up. That's got to be your main focus. Next is their infrastructure, a courthouse, 2 town halls, 2 wastewater treatment plants. Those are big dollar items to get back to normal, but I think those are the big 3. And cash, just cash to operate.
It does not matter what office you hold or what position you serve in, you're here for the same reason, which is that you care deeply about your constituents and you want to make sure that we do everything in our power to help the people of West North Carolina get back up on their feet. And I want to thank you for that. Y'all are on the front lines of what people need. You're where people go to when they need help, and you've done an incredible job getting people the services, the support that they need. I know you all are working hard. You've been doing it for over 6 months now. 6 months anniversary was just a couple weeks ago. And I know it's exhausting. And I know that when you raised your hand to serve your community, you had no idea what you were signing up for. But I'm so glad that you have, and I just encourage you to keep it up.
As we moved forward, we are looking at small victories because if nothing else, we've learned that nothing happens quickly. So as much as we would like to have a grand victory for 6 months, we can say, okay, we've accomplished all these things. We have to take them in small doses and take the victories where we can find them. From a debris standpoint, from our county buildings, we have been able to get back into our DSS building after it was flooded out. And so that's one of 5 county buildings that are now occupied. The other 4 are still not occupied. We really, the 3 major areas that we're focused on right now is roads and bridges, because that's still a huge need. Housing for all those folks to get back into their homes and get their homes repaired. And then from the county standpoint, the renovation and recovery of our infrastructure and buildings and the debris continues to be an ongoing process.
We have to advocate for continued waterway debris removal. It's happened here for several miles, but there's places that it hasn't happened. Seeing those Army Corps contractors come in with impressive machines and just the work that they've been doing, I think that's been more of a morale boost for the community than anything I've seen in a while. It's been very encouraging. So I think the first next step is just getting cleaned up, and then we can talk about resilience planning and bank restoration, remediation programs after that.
So, I am back open and operational. I have all the existing staff here, so no one lost their jobs. Everyone's back working, which is fantastic, and I consider that a huge win. Operationally, we're back open. Physically, we're back open. There's still financial implications and financial kind of things that we're still recovering from. The town as a whole is, we still have not seen tourism rebound the way that we need it to rebound. So that's kind of one area of focus right now is trying to figure out how to kind of send the message out that we're open. There's still an amazing time that you can have here. There are businesses that you can support. There's, the town though is still definitely recovering. There's still critical infrastructure in the surrounding area that still has to be rebuilt. So there are still things that are need attention.
Good to see you. This place and these mountains, they shaped who I am. In the wake and devastation of Hurricane Helene, we've seen just how strong and resilient our community is. And today we get to celebrate something that reminds us of our enduring Appalachian pride.
Happy day!
We are funding around $40-some million. We're financing the recovery, restoration for our community. You know, so that's our money that we're using to do that. And we're not seeing as a community, as a county government and local governments, where we're going to be financially a year from now. Will our revenue streams remain constant? Will it go down or go up? In addition to that, we still have to perform our duties, our services, our 911, our EMS, our police. And now we got to take the lessons from this disaster and apply them to, for future use.
My husband and I own the Chimney Rock Smokehouse, the Broad River Inn, Stagecoach Pizza Kitchen and Saloon, and the Chimney Rock Adventure Mini Golf. We're hoping to open the smokehouse back hopefully by the end of July. That's our goal anyway. The inn will probably be at least another 8 months, hopefully no more. Obviously it's not something that'll happen overnight, and it's going to take probably a number of years to get it back to somewhat normal. But you know, there's been a lot of progress that's been made throughout Spokes of Hope, which they've helped us tremendously with, you know, just the few milestones that we've made. USACE has been a huge support. We got our package plant last week, so hopefully we'll get sewer and all that back the middle of next month. That's the goal.
Now that we are fully into spring, heading into summer, we've seen our roads getting cleaned, we've seen our rivers getting cleaned. Just the sheer fact that you can drive across Buncombe County and not see destruction, I think gives everyone who lives here hope for the future and an excitement as we begin to rebuild Buncombe County the way we've always wanted Buncombe County to be.
You know, I sat right up there on my front porch and watched it happen, so I don't know that I'll ever be fully recovered. Because, you know, when you live through it like, you know, folks in this community did, it'll stick with you. You know, and I don't want to forget. You know, particularly as a local leader, I don't think any of us want to forget and kind of let that roll into preparation for, you know, the next time there's an event, whatever that looks like.
Our goal is not to be back to normal, but to be better than normal. Because what was normal before was not that good. We had deficiencies in a lot of areas beforehand. So all this has done is just accentuated the problems you already had: housing, infrastructure, availability of services, emergency preparedness, wildfire management. All of those things are just brought to the forefront even more by this. So our goal, what I would love to see, is to use this as a springboard to move better than normal, to use this to leverage funding and attention so that in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, we'll have people be able to look back and say they used this disaster of epic proportions in order to bring about a positive result. And that's what I think recovery would look like, is if we were able to get in a place that was better than where we started.
We built it up and it's breaking down. coming undone. I can't live without all that I love, but it'll take me out. There's no way to run, no safety route. What if I laid here and let the water take me? I'll go with all that made me, but I won't drown. I'll stand till the road's clear, won't let broken ground shake me. I am my own foundation and I stand proud. The warning signs, the shadows.